Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Love Island Games, Season 2, Episodes 6 and 7.
I am back. I have seen all the episodes, but I'm going to try my best to only talk about these two.
Thank you.
Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. You ready, Blair?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Mert doesn't get why Chris chose him and Solene to make vulnerable. Apparently, Chris went by friendship, but he doesn't understand when Chris is here for the money. Solene doesn't get it either. Tyrique is going to have his way tomorrow to do whatever he wants, turn it up a notch, and some of the people already feel like he's already doing that.
Yeah, I feel like Tyrique is, I think he's running the risk of no one's taking him seriously. And he's running the risk of, I think in this game, trust is some, you need some currency with trust with people.
Right.
And I think people just go know that, you know what, he keep jumping ship to ship and things like that. And I don't know if people really view Tyrique as a strong competitor compared to just like, you know what, he just cool, you know, the vibes and things like that. I need to see Tyrique win some games. You get what I'm saying? For me to be like, Tyrique can act like that. He said, I'm about to start putting 3 eggs in the basket and things of that nature. And basically, he's talking out loud and basically said, I got to get out this friendship couple as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Basically saying like, you know, we did bad. In other words, you did bad. I need to find somebody else to basically attach to. And I'm like, eventually, I think he's going to run out of people.
Yeah, I think with Tyrique, I think the ladies already don't look at him as a serious option when it comes to a love connection because they know that he's kind of all over the place and for play. And I think that's the only thing with Tyrique. You can't manipulate the women with attraction and flirtation in order to be with you, to work with you. It's either you're really into them or you really want to be with somebody who's a competitor. It's kind of like that transparency is, I think, what would get him a lot further. And look, he might be attracted to, you know, multiple ladies in the villa, but always leading with that with everyone, it does kind of seem like you're using that to get them to want to couple up with you instead of just being like, hey, can we try to couple up? Maybe we could be strong together.
Yeah. And exactly. Eventually, they go be like, what's in it for me? You don't even be finishing the top 3.
Yeah.
So, like, what's in it for me? There's nothing in for. So, but we'll see. As far as I know, I still like him in the villa, though.
Yeah. So, Andrea and Toby are talking, and, you know, he really liked being in the challenge with her, but they're not happy that they are vulnerable. Solene and Kay hug it out. They're good after KK's decision to make her vulnerable.
Yeah.
Josh and Justine chat, and Josh would be down to compete with Justine and explore a romantic connection with Andrea.
I actually think that's a good plan. I just don't know if Andrea's the girl for you, though.
No, okay.
Like I think when it comes down to it, I think like if you can have some type of like, you know what, we're going to work together as a strong thing. You can go out and find whoever you want to connect with the love part. I will try to connect with the love part on my end. Then we be good. But I think that's a great plan. And I think they need to get these two out the villa before they get on a, you know, really going. You know what I mean? So
we get to Tyrique and KK, and he still has a thing for her. He is definitely trying to put some more eggs in her basket. She likes him, but she's here for the $250K just like him. And he says he can make her more than that. Just trust me.
Wow.
He tries to kiss her, but she declines. And that's the thing. You're not going to get over with the sweet talking and the smiles and all that type of stuff. And I will say, KK in her confessional was, you know, excited, and you know, she does find you attractive, but it's not working here. It's just not working.
Now, just think about this right here, Blair, for a second, and also the audience, right? You got turned down by Andreina only because she found somebody else that she was in connection with, Johnny, right? So we kind of considered Andreina as kind of easy to get with. Only thing you got to do is like her, and then she like you back, right? KK, who is basically boy hungry, you know, who love and things like that, and now you got turned down by her too. That's why I say I think his luck is running out, because the two girls that are desperate for love in their own way are saying, oh no, we're good. Yeah. And that's why I'm like, you better start winning some competition so people can be like, you know what, I'd rather be with Tyrique because he's a strong competitor.
So KK thinks that she works better with Chris, and she considers him the whole package.
He's also 6'7". I hear you, KK.
So we get to the next day. Chris is basically explaining to Mert that he based it off of friendship because Mert and Solene barely talk to each other. And honestly, I still don't really understand the way that they explained why they chose them. I feel like it would have been better if they really wouldn't have provided an explanation because it's just like, okay, so Mert and Solene aren't friends. What does that mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like how does that matter? I would feel like I would have felt like I would have preferred them to choose Justine and Josh as far as, having strong competitors go in the bottom. It just didn't seem very strategic to me.
Yeah. For one, I don't have to give you an explanation, right? And for him to basically say, hey, we chose y'all because y'all are a friendship couple. And I'm just like, well, what are you, Chris? Because you're the one that keeps saying you're here for the money.
But they didn't even say that.
But I'm saying in the confessional, when he chose them in the last episode and things like that, he basically was like, yo, like basically they are not a romantic couple. They just a friendship couple and things like that.
Oh, that wasn't clear to me.
So
I thought he chose it because they just weren't getting along.
No, he said y'all are a friendship couple. Okay. You get what I'm saying? So basically, I'm like, well, here's the thing about it, Chris. You keep saying that you're not here for love. So what will you describe you and KK's relationship? Like the same way as Solene and Mert is working together trying to get $250,000. It's the same way as you working to get $250,000. I didn't agree with the decision either, though.
Yeah. So Lucinda wanted coffee in the morning, and Mert didn't bring her anything.
Wow.
Josh ended up helping Toby make breakfast for Andrea, and Josh also made something small for Andrea as well.
But I will say this though, right? Even though I wouldn't have done it, I can see the logic of picking Solene and Mert though, right? Because if you pick, I would have went for the strong people trying to get them out. And if I wouldn't have got them out, then that puts a target on my back by the strong couple that I went up against. You get what I'm saying? I think going against Solene and Mert, I think it's a weak decision only because you know that you probably can beat them. So if they be like, you know what, you put a target on our back, we go put a target on your back. And I'm just like,
and I can see what you mean.
But I'd be like, but I can beat y'all.
Because Justine is very, popular. And so if it did cross their mind just about America's vote, then they probably did think that they could possibly be safe. Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm here to win. So I'm going, if I got one shot, I'm going for the strongest couple every time.
Yeah. So Lucinda is sunbathing, ignoring Mert. She feels like he's not making enough effort. Selene is laughing at the whole interaction.
Yes, she is.
And Mert thinks that she's sending mixed signals.
Listen here. He said in the morning she give me scrambled eggs, but at night she give me nice dessert. I was like, that's the perfect way to put it. In this moment right here, Mert and Selene became my favorite two people on the show, and I wanted both of them to win. Not because they are strong competitors, not even because they are a strong couple. It's because they are hilarious. Mert's sitting there getting ignored. Selene is over there laughing, literally at him getting ignored. And then when Lucinda walks away, basically talking about, I'm gonna go make myself my own coffee, Selene's over there like, I was like, at this moment, Selene need the $250,000. I need both of them to make it to the end. That's what I was thinking at this point.
So Josh and Andreina are talking.
Yeah.
She doesn't want Tyrique anymore. Things are good with Johnny, but she's scared because the last season he coupled up with most of the girls, and she's wondering if he'd do the same to her. Sorry, she's talking to Johnny at this point.
Okay.
She's telling Johnny this. Johnny's telling her that he's 27, he has a daughter, he wants someone who is going to make him want to be a better man, and he tells her to just focus on the now, not on the future, and right now he is interested. So essentially, I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah.
And if you keep losing, I might be out the door too. So it's best for you not to worry and just enjoy every moment.
And nice call back to the huda, I am a mom. You know what I mean? He's over here saying, I have a daughter, you know what I mean? So listen here, I think Johnny is still using this girl because I think at the end of the day, he don't want to be a winner-up. And if he have to dump Andreina at the end, he definitely will dump Andreina at the end for sure.
Yeah. Now we get to Josh and Andrea, and he really doesn't want to see her leave. He is in a good spot with being in a couple with Justine, but exploring something with her. Andrea has been enjoying her conversations with Toby, and she is trying not to stress too much about being vulnerable. They end up sharing a kiss.
Okay, nice.
So Solene and Isaiah talk, and she really couldn't stay mad at KK. She feels like she's in a good business partnership with Mert, and essentially Isaiah is in a business partnership with Nicola as well. We move on to Andrea, KK, and Nicole, and Andrea is just kind of missing some type of excitement with Josh. She feels like she's having more fun with Toby, and Chris ends up finding his way into the conversation. I felt like this was a girls only conversation.
It was.
I didn't feel like Chris needed to be over there. But he says, maybe that side will come later with Josh, and Andrea is taking that into consideration.
No, she's done with Josh. Listen here. Even when they kissed this time, it kind of felt forceful. It kind of felt like he's always initiating the kiss. It doesn't seem like she's the one that's kind of like initiating it or even seem inviting for it. And I could see y'all point when y'all was saying early on that Josh could be intense. Well, there's $250,000 on the line, but at the same time I can see you being intense in games, but when it comes down to just conversations and things of that nature, it just seems like Josh is always talking about strategy. Josh is always talking about the competitive side and always trying to get a leg up on everybody else, and that can help you at the end to win the money, but don't expect to win the money and the girl if you only talking about strategy.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we get to Tyrique and Justine, and Justine is nervous about Tyrique because of his multiple connections. Tyrique likes that she is chill, he's more high energy, and he wants to be with someone, he wants to romantically explore while he's here competing as well.
Yeah.
Justine thinks that Tyrique moves crazy, and she doesn't know if he is a risk worth taking. And honestly, maybe for a moment, and not saying like with your heart or with love or anything like that, but you're only there for a few days, maybe enjoy some time with Tyrique, see if he can win some challenges. But at this point, she's strong with Josh, so it wouldn't be smart to risk it now.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Tyrique, I think your words can only go so far. People want to see you compete and win some competitions, and to actually you prove your worth in that way of saying like, you know what? Connect with me because I'm going to win us this thing. Right. And that haven't happened yet. Versus
him trying to hitch his wagon to a winner instead of being the winner.
Exactly.
So Kendall ends up helping Mert set up a doc date for Lucinda, and he explains to him that you really do have to give her more early on based off the type of girl she appears to be.
Okay.
So Mert brought her a flower. He brings her to the dock, and she really thought it was cute and appreciated it. And I thought this was a really cute scene. I thought it was nice that Kendall helped Mert set the situation up. But y'all, I'm not going to lie, it gives performative to me. Whoa. We saw Ace last season setting up a whole bunch of dates, and I know Ace does not have the trademark on setting up dates, but I don't know. I don't know.
Kendall set up one date and y'all like it's performative. See, Kendall, here's my thing. I told y'all the minute that they open up the voting for y'all better get him out because he's gonna make it to the end, right? I think Kendall, we gotta be honest when it comes to Kendall. He is good at the social game of Love Island.
He's very good. Yeah.
He knows, and put like this, if it's ever up to the Villa's vote, he's not getting voted out by them and things like that because he's willing to blend in the shadows and basically, I call it being fake, but he can blend in with anybody.
And he's also a support to the girls who are crying, the guys who are going through stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So do I think that this will hurt? Do I think this will help Mert in the long run? Maybe. But I think him setting it up, my problem with Mert is that he is not, I don't think he's smart. That is the best way I could put it, right?
I don't think Lucinda thinks that either.
I don't think he's smart. The things he's done just kind of seem like some things are just slipping between the crack. You giving somebody's food after somebody just ate out of it. You don't know how to cook. Celine's over there. She basically throwing up every morning, talking about don't bring me nothing else no more. You get what I'm saying? And then now you wondering why when it comes to coffee, you got the guy saying you ain't bringing nothing? Like you ain't got nothing? He's like, no. Like so it's like Kendall can't be with you this whole time. Like eventually, like you have to do something on your own. And I just don't think he's like in it in that way. I don't think he sees it in that way. And I don't know if that's a language barrier thing. I think it's just maybe it's a gender role thing. Like he wants to wants the girl to come after him first before he do anything. And maybe,
that's what he said. He kind of wants a little bit of the prince treatment. But like no, you kind of have to go after and court the lady.
Exactly. So
So it's nighttime. Lucinda and Mert, they're both really liking each other, and they do want to go at their own pace. And she asked if he wants to continue talking to her, and he's like, "Why would you ask me that?" Like clearly, like of course, but she just wanted some reassurance, so they end up kissing.
Nice.
Nicole and Garby talk. Nicola and Garby talked. Nicola liked Isaiah, but when he shut down anything romantic, it hurt her feelings.
Yeah.
She's feeling left out because no one likes her. And Garby is just pouring into her, telling her she's beautiful. And, she's telling her that she will find her person. And Nicola does like that Chris gives her compliments. Yeah. And maybe something can grow from that if she continues to talk to Chris.
Do you have anything to say to this before I go on my tangent?
Yeah, I think that is very difficult. Apparently, Nicola won her season of Love Island, which I didn't realize that. So this is definitely probably very just kind of having your head like totally everything flipped upside down for her, from going to being desired and having a successful season to really not having any love interest at all.
Yeah.
And I think it's tough and it's unfortunate, and I can see it being hard and hurtful, and you start wondering, well, what's wrong with me? But I think at the same time, you know, if people there, you guys aren't clicking, the attraction isn't there, I mean, you got to start setting your sights to the money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it just might need to be a shift in perspective to say, hey, I might not be these people's cup of tea, but that's not my whole purpose for being here anyway. So
yeah, I had a problem with this scene because this scene let me know what Love Island is about to do with Nicola, right? How do you say her name?
Nicola.
I'm gonna call her Nikki, right? Don't do this, Love Island. I'm gonna tell you this right now, as they already did it, right? Don't do it, because I'm gonna be honest with you, we don't care, right? You have Garby sitting there, who I believe is one of the most beautiful women on the show right now, currently, right? Encouraging Nick, right? Encouraging Nikki, right? I have no problem with building them up. I have no problem with saying, hey, you know what, focus on the money. Hey, you know what, you're one of the baddest, beautiful women here in the villa and things like that. My issue is, why do the women that look like Garby got to be the mother goose of the villa and got to basically talk up these other adults? You get what I'm saying? And when I say women like Garby, let me be more clear. The black women. You get what I'm saying? Let me be even more clearer. The darker skinned women. You get what I'm saying? Got to be there, who basically got to be like, you know what, it's okay, you're beautiful and things like that. You basically got to be the mother goose. You can basically, I don't want to say that she dumped her feelings on Garby, because at the end of the day, it's a conversation, and Garby is grown enough to extract from the conversation if she don't want to. So right. I'm not gonna say that she dumped on her, but I don't want this sympathy edit that y'all go give this girl. You get what I'm saying? It is within the guy's right to be like, I don't want this girl. For whatever reasons, for personality reasons, for external reasons and things of that nature, to say, hey, I do not want to be in a romantic relationship with you. So turn your sights. This is not Love Island. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not going to give you so much sympathy. This is Love Island games, meaning that, hey, if you can't get the love part, get the game part, because the game part is going to give you the not the brand prize, but the grand prize at the end. So like this scene, even though I do not want her feeling bad in the sense of crying and feeling worthless in some way, put your worth in something else. You get what I'm saying? Okay, love is not for me in this chapter of Love Island. Isaiah don't want me. Okay, Chris is saying nice things to me. Maybe I can explore something with Chris. You could go pull Chris for a chat and things of that nature. You looking at everybody else and seeing love, but at the end of the day, you have to win the games to win the money. So that's why I'm like, I understand Garby, you did a good thing, but I don't want Garby to be Mother Goose. I don't want KK to be Mother Goose. I want these women to be able to compete without having to feel like they can only compete in a certain way, or else they go get some type of backlash. Compete, be like Josh in the sense of intense, or be, demure. But I want them to have the freedom to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. And I saw where they was going with this. And I was like, no, Love Island games. We ain't gonna do that with Nikki over here. We ain't gonna do that.
Yeah. So Chris tells Josh that he wants to get to know Justine. Josh is cool with that. They're in a friendship couple. He's just like, I just prefer for people to give me a heads up whenever stuff is going on. So he's fine with it.
Okay.
He's still trying to pursue Andrea, and people continue to pull Andrea into couples.
That's true.
And Josh really doesn't know if he wants to be dealing with that this whole time. Chris tells Josh that Andrea does like him based off the conversation he heard earlier. Now, the only thing that really bothered me about this was, okay, maybe a couple things.
About three things bothered for me. You know what I mean?
One thing that bothered me is, like, Josh, nobody has to run nothing by you.
Exactly.
Especially when you're not in a serious couple with Justine. Chris really didn't have to do that because you guys aren't exploring anything.
Facts.
And maybe he didn't know that you guys weren't, so he was trying to be respectful, which is what happens in Love Island. But with Love Island games, I want people to get a little dirtier, a little snakier. And let's chill out with the heads ups, and let's just move like we want to win some money. You know what I'm saying? And then also when it comes to him talking about Chris telling him what Andrea was talking about earlier, I don't like that. I know that he was trying to provide some positive information based off of the conversation, but Chris, you really shouldn't even been there to hear that conversation.
Exactly.
She was trying to sit there to talk to the girls and just kind of express her feelings and where her head was at. It wasn't something that should have gotten back to Josh, whether she liked him or not. As far as how I feel, let Andrea figure out her situation and talk to Josh herself.
Yeah.
So.
I like when him talk about a little birdie told me that she's into you. I'm just like, first of all, you setting him up. You get what I'm saying? And trying to basically coach him because he got some information that he shouldn't have got.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? He basically got some intel that he shouldn't have got in the first place. That's my only issue with Chris, is that in this moment, Josh wouldn't have held it against you because, for one, the ladies wasn't talking to you. You shouldn't have even been sitting over there. And number two, you don't owe Josh anything. This is not Love Island. This is Love Island Games. I want to see some deception, some manipulation. And when it come down to it, that was just something that really didn't add anything to even his chances with Andrea, because at the end of the day, if Andrea chooses the other guy, that doesn't help Josh in any way. So it just is what it is.
So Andrea and Toby end up kissing in the speakeasy.
Oh yeah, she's gone, bruh.
Ariana arrives. Everyone gathers around the fire pit. We've got our safe couples, who are now Andreina and Johnny. And Andreina could not hold herself together, y'all. She was over the moon, excited, happy, crying, screaming, doing all the things.
Here's my thing about Andreina, right? I made a mistake, and I have to be fair.
What's the mistake?
I have to address the people, Blair.
Okay.
Don't stop me.
I won't.
I was wrong. Andreina is not a baddie. Because a baddie is not only the external look of how you look and things like that.
Okay.
It's a whole vibe. And you don't have to look like a 10 to be a baddie. You can be a 7 and actually have a baddie vibe that can push you up to higher than a 7. Like it's a movement. You get what I'm saying? Okay. The baddie movement. Well, you know what I mean? Well, hold on. She's not a baddie, right?
Okay.
Because for one, remember when Johnny was over there putting lotion on her, but before he was told her that, I have a daughter and things like that, and she's goofy. She because she's ticklish, because he was rubbing lotion on her chin. And then when she found out that she's one of America's most liked and things like that, I don't know if it's an intense experience or things like that, but it just seems like she's on tilt, in my opinion. She's rather left or right, but she's never in the center. So when she found out that she wasn't getting voted off or anything like that, it was just too awkward for me, the squealing and just the emotion. I don't know. It was just too. It didn't give baddie vibes to me.
Okay, well, I want to put it out there that I do think Andreina is a baddie.
She's not.
Okay, let me say my thing.
Okay, go ahead.
I think Andreina absolutely is a baddie. I think that you can be a nerdy baddie, a quirky baddie. You can be a alt baddie. You know what I'm saying? There are definitely different types of baddies.
Can you be an ugly baddie?
Well, no, everybody has to be attractive, but Andreina is beyond attractive. So that's not even anything. So I think that she is a baddie, but I think that she is just a quirky baddie. I think that, when people talk about, her and Jeremiah were the perfect fit. They're both extremely attractive people, but a little quirky. And there's everyone for everybody. Is it cringe sometimes to see? Yes.
Cringe all the time. Yes.
Yes, but I don't think that takes away from the fact that she is drop dead gorgeous. So,
but she's not a baddie though.
Okay.
And she could be beautiful and all those things, but she's missing the vibe. She don't have the aura of a baddie and things like that. When you just look at her without her talking, you could probably, she a baddie, and then she start talking and then she start no, baddies don't laugh like that.
We're gonna move on from her because I know y'all get mad when we talk too much about it.
Well,
so we move on.
I'm gonna talk about it next episode too. But go ahead.
So we move on to Tyrique and Lucinda, who are safe as well.
Okay.
Now we've got our vulnerable couples who are Andrea and Toby, Mert and Solene, Nicola and Isaiah. They have the option to open a mystery box. One person will get a black heart, which will say dumped, and then two of the other couples will get one that will say saved.
Yeah.
So they get to vote as far as what do they want? Do they want to open the box, or do they want to go by America's vote and majority rules? So Andrea and Toby were the only ones who wanted to open the box because her past season, America really didn't get behind her.
Yeah.
But everyone else chose to go by America's vote. And with that, Mert and Solene ended up going home. Now, if they would have opened the boxes, Nicola and Isaiah would have been dumped.
We was that close to getting them out. Now, here's the problem that I have with the whole Solene and Mert thing, right? They was my favorite couple based off of this episode alone, and now they're going home.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this episode.
And I feel like it's Mert's fault. I feel like Solene did not want it to go by America's vote. She kept saying, even though throughout the episode she was like, thank you, America, I love you, America, and all that stuff. God bless America. Like it was hilarious.
But
right?
They had to have known America doesn't really know us.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, Mert over here talking about, well, if it's fate. You know what I mean? I'm just like, don't go by what Mert's saying. Go by chance. You know what I'm saying? Go by chance, because this is the USA version of it. So I just knew they did not have a good chance if it came down to the vote with them. I just knew it.
Yeah. So we move on to episode 7.
Yes.
Lucinda's crying because Mert left. Kendall is consoling her and tells her that America's rooting for her and sees something in you. So she is totally locked in on the game right now. And I want to say this. I don't know about y'all. I voted for Tyrique and Lucinda for Tyrique. Because Tyrique is entertaining me. If Lucinda stays or goes, that's fine. I do think Lucinda's cool. She's funny and everything like that. But my vote went there because I want to see Tyrique cause some havoc.
And who went to console Lucinda?
Kendall.
Because that's who he really likes, in my opinion.
Same. So we move on to Nicola and Isaiah. She's crying because Solene got voted off, but they're both happy they're safe.
Yeah.
Even though the guys don't like her, she is going to remember America for voting for her.
All right.
So we get to KK and Chris, and they feel bad that they put Solene and Mert in the bottom, and they ended up getting sent home.
Yeah.
They knew they have to keep dominating because they are a target, since people can see that they are strong competitors. Chris would rather worry about love later after winning the 250K. But KK asks if he feels like they got closer from winning, and he says yes. So, and that's what I don't like.
Oh boy, here we go.
I'm not going to say he's lying, but you're not prioritizing the connection. So you saying that, in my opinion, makes her think that you guys are closer as far as your romantic connection and are moving in some type of way towards that, when you yourself literally just said love can come after the money. So you have no intention of pursuing this connection while you're in the island. So I just feel like it's kind of like stringing her along, and I don't think it's fair.
KK just needs to learn how to listen to people's first answer. You get what I'm saying? And when she first brought this up to Chris episodes ago, he said he's here for the money, right? And I understand that you see him as the whole package and things of that nature, but we really need to get out of trying to change people's minds and things like that. That's why on that show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? On this show, Who Want to Be a Quarter Millionaire and things of that nature? Is that your final answer?
Right.
You here for the money? Then I'll never approach you on the love aspect of it, because I don't want to be basically like how you describe. I don't want you to string me along in that way, to me thinking that there's hope and things of that nature. I'm going to start exploring. But guess what? We here when it comes to the games part. But the whole I feel like we're closer, especially if I'm the one asking the question and just giving him the freedom to be like, oh yeah, sure. Nah, I'm not falling for it. KK, protect yourself.
Yeah, so Toby ends up telling Tyrique that he kissed Andrea. Tyrique is telling him not to turn into a lover boy over here. But Tyrique feels like he needs Justine. Like, she's a good competitor. Yeah. She looks good. I really don't know Tyrique's intentions with her, to be honest, but I think it's just because she's a good competitor.
I think that's the intention right there. Yep.
Andreina and Johnny share a kiss on the dock, and they are both happy they're safe.
Yeah.
Tyrique and Justine end up cuddling up in the speakeasy, and he is telling her that she's giving him mixed signals. Justine says that he has his options. He's all over the place, and she is going to take her time when it comes to him. She's open to coupling up with Tyrique. She thinks that they could have fun together, but she needs to remember she's here for the money first and love second. So she is just kind of complimenting all the things that she likes about him. He's eating it up. But I think Justine's head is on straight enough to the point that she's not going to get sucked into Tyrique's games.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, Tyrique, do not let these people run game on you,
right? And
to making you basically, you are the KK on the man's side. You trying to find some connection, thinking you running game on somebody else, but really they just like, oh yeah, I see us coupling up. Justine is here for the money, because I'm sure I'm positive the money, the cash prize wasn't this when she won. So now she's here for the popularity and the money. So you're not gonna basically knock her off her path, especially if she already got a strong competitor in Josh. Maybe she's thinking like, hey, at the end of the day, we could couple up in the sense of we can mess around on a romantic tip, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna make it to the end with a strong competitor, and I think she got hers with Josh, in my opinion.
So it's bedtime. Chris ends up checking on Nicola since she was sad earlier, and she was super happy that he checked on her, but they're going to have their conversation later on the next day.
Okay.
Andrea tells Garby that she kissed Toby. Justine says that Tyrique is putting in work, but she knows that he's serious. And she's also telling people like she really hasn't been kissed and she hasn't had any type of like cuddling or anything during this Love Island experience. And when the lights cut off, Justine and Josh get the cover shaking.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of humps in that cover and things of that nature. Now I have a question when it comes to Chris and Nicola, right? Do you think Chris really, now at this point, do you think Chris really have some type of interest in Nicola?
I think it's hard for me to say.
Yeah, me too.
I think he
being polite.
I don't think so. I think that he has an interest in her, but like I said, he doesn't want to pursue anybody. So because he doesn't really want to pursue anybody, I think that he's keeping his options open by keeping lines of communication open with Nicola. Yeah. So I think that it is a thing of, she's cool. I enjoy talking to her.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try anything the same way he's doing with KK, but it's more so of you're always going to be his second because he's not going to put forth effort to try to make you his first. So,
I think
even his first is not really anything to him.
Yes,
so.
I think even with KK, I think he's further along romantically with KK when it comes to comparing her to Nicola. I think Nicola presented herself so much as a sad puppy, as someone who needs uplifting. So it's kind of hard for me to see if he have interest more than like him being polite.
Well, he said it the first day.
But that's the thing about it. Like in that moment, he said the first day, like, you would have been my second choice. Like,
no, I'm saying when he was talking to the guys when they were all sitting around and they were all naming the girls they were into.
Yeah,
like, he named her.
But even when he was talking to her, he said it to her directly, like, you would have been my second choice. Like, what do that mean? Like, that don't really mean anything because at the end of the day, he had first choice. Like he could have chose her if he wanted her, but he didn't want her. I think she presents herself, if she keeps presenting herself as someone who needs uplifting, someone who needs basically a pat on the back, she's going to be easy to manipulate because she wants love. And I think Chris is playing the game in the sense of, okay, if it don't work out with KK, let's say KK go to Tyrique or something like that, I can team up with Nicola. It's not going to be on no romantic tip, but guess what? I could be nice to her enough the way, guess what, me and her could team up and make it to the end potentially.
So we get to the next day, and Johnny is telling Tyrique the only way he can win with her is if he carries him, and Tyrique tells him to stop kissing her.
Wow. He talking about Andreina?
Yes.
Whew.
Garby tells Justine to give Tyrique a chance, but she wants to protect her heart. Tyrique makes Justine some breakfast. Josh makes her some tea. Kendall makes Garby breakfast and has it set up for her and Soul Ties. So they have a little date.
Nice.
He's talking about how he finds her attractive. He's happy they're doing this together. And they get to know each other more. And he's talking about how his parents' divorce created a lot of fears when it comes to relationships for him. And I don't believe him. I believe him. But I'm like, Kendall, at this point, we've heard that. If you've watched Beyond the Villa, if you've kept up, like, you've heard his fears and his concerns, and I get that he's getting to know Garby, so this is a new person that he's having this conversation with. But for me, it's getting to the point where it just seems like you don't want it. And maybe your fears are stopping you, but it doesn't seem like you actually want to pursue anything deeper or real. And I feel like Garby, as long as she can keep her head on straight, that this is just for the moment and enjoy whatever it is. But I just don't like the fact that if Kendall is trying to lay it on thick with her as though he wants something serious when he doesn't, I'm not a fan of that. And that's where my distrust with Kendall comes in, is if you think she's cool and this is a fun little situation, present it as that versus, man, I really like you and you're making me nervous and all this stuff. I'm just like, I just don't believe that he wants to be something serious with Garby. So
yeah, he's lying, and he's lying about his life, right? And Chris, how do you know? Because I'm a guy and I can tell when guys are lying, right? He said his parents' divorce has created fear for him to get into relationships of some of that nature.
Yeah.
Were your parents divorced when you was with Nicole? Were your parents divorced when you were still dating before Nicole and things like that? I'm not saying that like your parents' divorce did not have any effect on you. That's not what I'm saying. I don't think it hindered him when it came down to him dating and being with someone. I think it's strategic for him to attach himself to someone likable like Garby and things like that, to where, guess what? The people in the villa likes Kendall and America likes Garby. And that's a strong couple that we can get behind because of Garby. But the minute they're not together, you get what I'm saying? So he's basically trying to get some sympathy points in the whole thing of, guess what? I'm really this timid guy to where it's like, I'm going to put my pinky toe in the water of relationships and things of that nature. But like Blair said, we did Beyond the Villa. He was talking to a whole girl, and he's the type of guy to where he wants you to always come to his part of town, but he ain't willing to drive an hour, the same hour that you drive to his part of town. He ain't willing to drive to your part of town.
And he call it taking baby steps.
And then he's also the same type of guy to tell your other female friends, right, to unfollow you and things like that, to pick a side. So his parents' divorce did not hinder how he show up in relationships. He hindered himself how he show up in relationships and things of that nature. That's what I'm saying.
So Josh and Andrea do a workout together. She ends up telling him that she kissed Toby, and it opened up her eyes to how much she actually really liked Josh, and he appreciates her transparency. Actually, when she told Josh, I thought Josh looked mad.
He was.
Yeah, like he was mad, but of course we know he kissed Justine, but he didn't bring it up during this conversation. Nope. Nicola pulls Chris for a chat, and they're pretty much having small talk. She teaches him a couple words in Maltese. He starts yelling across the way to Kendall what he just learned in Maltese. You're not interested in this girl.
I said that. Exactly.
You're playing around. He thinks that things are good with KK. He's here to win, but he is still interested in getting to know her. And they do enjoy talking to each other and looking at each other. She tells him that he's been her number one since day one.
Well, that's nice.
With KK and Garby, KK knows that other people would be attracted to Chris. He's a good competitor, and he's also attractive. Josh is telling Justine what Andrea said, and he didn't mention his situation to Andrea yet about Justine. They enjoyed their kiss the previous night. They thought it was good, but Josh plans to tell Andrea in order to keep her in the loop.
Here's the thing about it. I'm going to give Josh a little bail out of jail, right? Just a little bit, because, we've been tough on him in the beginning of the season. Do I think he went in that bed planning to make out with Justine?
No.
I don't think so. I think it's only a certain amount of times. You are in an intense environment all the time. You got a beautiful woman in the bed with you, and she's giving you consent, the green light to where y'all can explore and things like that. And I think it just happened, right? And I think if he does grow an attraction or grow feelings, I think it will be like an innocent type of growth to where, like, I really did not try for this to happen. Compared to Andrea, I think, even though she's like, you know what, I did all this, but it made me like you more. That's very different than Josh kind of like doing what he did. That's why I'm not really against him not telling Andrea, because at this moment, I don't know if Josh know how he feels and things like that. Especially if I said I want to be with this girl, but unexpectedly I'm making out with this girl and things like that, and she's my couple partner.
Yeah.
So I think he's really in a pickle, in my opinion. But we will see.
Yeah, I don't think Josh is in a pickle.
You don't think so?
No, I think that he still knows he only wants to compete with Justine, and he wants to explore romantic with Andrea, and I think that's why he looks so upset. Even though he kissed Justine, like, he knows, like, but I don't want nothing with Justine.
Yeah, that's fair.
But with Andrea, she's actually exploring connections.
Yeah.
So we get to Tyrique and Justine, and she tells him that he would be someone that she would want to couple up with. She tells him that she cuddled and kissed Josh last night, and he's cool as long as she's being honest. But in his confessional, he cares, and it actually kind of bothered him a little bit. But I think it was more so because he didn't really know why it was bothering him. He was like, I must care about her because it did bother me. But no, I don't think you care about her, Tyrique. What I think is that you think that you can be the Mac Daddy player, get all the women that you want, and you're surprised that you're not able to snag and bag whoever you want. And I think it's kind of like shocking to you. So yeah,
really when we think about it, he haven't snagged and bagged nobody.
Yeah,
because Andreina saw him and basically treated him like he was a celebrity, and basically was on him. And I guess you could count the kiss with KK as him kind of bagging her, but then literally days later, she like, no, we're not doing that again.
And she told him straight up, like, I'm here for the money first.
Yeah, so it's like, before I give him the player title, I need to see him bag somebody. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So Josh tells Andrea that he kissed Justine. She's cool with it. We both kiss people. It's fine.
Okay.
They get a text. They're going to have the heart rate challenge. The couple that raises the heart rate the highest will be power couple, and those who raise it the least will be vulnerable.
Okay.
So Kendall and Garby were pretty much scaring people, spurting people with water guns and licking ears.
Yeah.
Tyrique had his first kiss with Justine, and he had Justine and KK lay down for a makeout session. Josh starts mounting and grinding people. Justine put a lot of time on Tyrique, and she sucked on Chris's finger.
Yes.
Nicola and Chris, she did a little motorboat thing, and she didn't get a chance to actually kiss him.
Why?
Isaiah gave Andreina a hickey, and he laid Lucinda down, and she felt a little connection from that. Everyone was trying to stay calm during Chris and KK, so that way they wouldn't be power couple again. Chris ended up laying down Andrea, Nicola, and Garby, but didn't get a chance to do his big one.
Oh, you moved too slow, buddy.
Toby kissed Garby on top of Kendall.
Just a little too much for me. Okay.
And he was picking women up, kissing other women. Andrea didn't have time to do her thing with Josh on the couch. Josh was picking up, grinding, flipping girls around. Andreina put her booty in Tyreek's face, sucked his finger, and she ended up skipping over Josh. I honestly think that she was probably just all over the place and not paying attention. Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. So 2 new bombshells enter the villa. We've got Sydney and Marvin, who was on Love Island France.
Yeah, I do not know who these people are.
So Isaiah's squinting. We know that Isaiah and Sydney were a couple on their season, and they almost, won for their season.
Nice.
But he isn't sure if it's Sydney, but they tell him, yeah, it is. Marvin goes straight to Garby, makes out with her. He picks up and makes out with KK. Sydney gets on the pole, makes out with the guys, and she does give Isaiah a hug. They ask Sydney if she's here to get Isaiah back, and she tells us that there will need to be some chats to be had.
Oh, no.
So we go through and see who raised the heart rates the most. And honestly, I'm just going to point out the ones that stood out to me.
Help me.
Lucinda raised Kendall's heart rate the most. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
I wrote a whole list down.
No.
Watch the show. Recognize that.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
Let me tell you which one was funny to me, right? I think it was Isaiah. Right, she ain't do nothing but sit on the man, right, and she ended up raising his heart rate and things of that nature.
Oh yeah, Garby sat on him.
Garby, right, and I was like, listen here, I can understand, right. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, I understand you tried to jump scare me, but I'm like, just off attraction, I can see why heart rates will be raised for Garby and things of that nature. So in my head, I'm like, okay, it's either gonna be Garby or it's gonna be Andreina or something like that. So I'm like, okay, I kind of in my head know who's gonna win.
And I mean, Andreina had them cheeks out on full display.
100%. So,
she looked amazing.
So I'm like, okay, I'm 100% like not gonna be surprised who the winners are.
Yeah.
Okay, who won, Blair?
So the power couple is Nicola and Isaiah. Nicola thinks that all the guys will be making her breakfast, treating her like a princess with her new status. And the vulnerable people who raise the heart rates the least are Andrea and Toby, KK and Chris, and Andreina and Johnny.
I want to see the actual results of the heart rate challenge.
Okay. We need the data.
We're not doing this Love Island games. You get what I'm saying? You're telling me the girl that no one cooked breakfast for, the girl that was just crying about no one has interest in me, the girl that's basically need a pep talk from Garby, you know what I'm saying, who is beautiful in her own right, the girl who's basically had a chance to kiss Chris, didn't even kiss Chris, you know what I mean, and she was the one that raised the most hearts in the heart rate challenge. I need to see the results. I need y'all to do this challenge. I need y'all to do this challenge in full transparency or get rid of it. And what does full transparency look like? Hook them up with the little things on their chest and let us see the meters on the screen or something like that. I need to see it because there's no way you're going to make me believe that Isaiah and Nicola raise everybody's heart rates unless they just scared.
Yeah.
There's no way you're going to have me believe that. I'm not buying that propaganda.
Yeah. The only thing I thought was like, dang, Nicola, like, yes, it would be nice if the guys would do nice things for you, but it's just kind of like they would be doing it under false pretenses. Yes. And she like sounded super excited to actually get some attention. And it's just like, it's still not going to happen. No. But that's all we got.
Listen here. The next episode will be out later on today as well. This one is coming out this afternoon. It should be up probably in the next couple hours. But guess what? I'm going to release episode 8 that just happened last night, the same night tonight as well. So we all caught up.
Yes.
Anything else?
That's all I got.
Y'all be good.
Bye.